All right, so how we select the All-State and All-State All-Stars. Coaches are emailed and also sent through our message boards links to the different forms that they need to fill out. So a big thing to remember is the player needs to be nominated and that the coach needs to be a member of the association to make the All-State and the All-Star team. So again, they have to be nominated. Coach has to be a member of the association. Two big things to remember. So what coaches will do is they'll come in here, and this is kind of an example of what they fill out. So it's general information about the player, and then at the bottom it's their stats. They can also list the different awards that they've gotten and things like that. So this is the information, and this is all online. What you're seeing right now is just the form. This is the paper form. This is the new one, so it's a little simplified. Uh, but when the coaches type it out, it's actually an online data information that's actually filled in, just like a normal. So right now it's actually turned off because we're not taking any more nominations. So you see down here, what you have is nominations have closed. So that's what the coaches went to and filled out. And the information that we receive is this spreadsheet. So what you see here, this is all of the kids nominated in 2022. And let me speed this up a little bit. So this is the spreadsheet that they're all come in on. So 696 kids were actually nominated from different schools. So it has all of their stats on here. Some of these are hidden for right now, just for purposes of making it a little bit shorter, but it has all their stats on there and everything else, and all the information that we actually need. So once I get this, or once we get this, I go by classification. So here is all of the kids. So I sort it. This is all the 1A and 2A kids. So there were almost 150 kids, 1A, 2A nominated. Not all schools nominate. Remember that also. So from here, I take the kids that are 1A, 2A, and I break them down by position. So in the positions, what we have here is this is all the shortstops. This is one of the bigger groups. So these are all the shortstops that were nominated for 2A, 1A, and 2A. And then what you see over here is actually their stats kind of broken down into with italics, lead in that category. And the green is good. That's a higher stat. The red is bad. It's a lower stat. So we go through, and what you have is a group that is together at the state tournament, and that'll consist of the different small schools, since this is 1A, 2A, small school regional directors, small school officers, guys who know some of these kids, so that we're not just going by stats. We can actually go by, um, their recommendations also. They maybe take a second look at that kid that doesn't have as high as stats, maybe because he was in a tougher district. So each one of the positions is broken down 1A, 2A, and just the way I explained it to you. And that's a look at the small school guys right there. So we go through, and the kids, you know, by average is kind of how they're set up on this. It's not the only thing that we go by, but they're ranked by average, and then pitchers would be ranked by wins. Now we do select a lot of guys down at the bottom just because maybe their team had a bunch of other good pitchers. Also, they didn't have to pitch every game, things like that. So we take into consideration shortened seasons, all those other things. So that's a small school, and as you can see down at the bottom, as I'm going through the different, here's the 3A classification. Okay, all the way over to so it's the same all the way through. We go through every one of these, and then here's the 6A. This give you a little difference from 1A, 2A to 6A. It's still the same amount of kids, pretty much. Yeah, there's 150 in the 6A. So again, same process going through. We go by each position, and we have all. Now this would be all the larger school coaches that are there at the state tournament, officers, regional directors, things like that are selecting these teams. And we take out all the all stars because the all stars have already been named all state. That's another thing that causes some confusion sometimes. So the kids that are on the all star team are actually the all state elite team. So that's kind of how it's picked. Same process for the all star. We bring in guys from the region. This year we was this year we had the regional directors actually bring in the guys that represented the all star select